All right, as fast as possible, I'm Damiano. I am making my very first YouTube videos. I am going to be making videos about being a new dad and being a realtor. We're going to be making videos in our community. I grew up in Talmadge. I worked in Springfield Township as a police officer for a long time, and I live in Jackson Township. All right, if you know anybody else that wants to talk about the election before the election, give me a call at 330-289-2992, 330-289-2992. All right, thanks. To the video. To the video. Chief, good morning. It's good to see you today. How are you?
Good morning, Damiano. Thanks for coming to meeting with me today about our police levy.
My name is Damiano. I'm a local realtor here in the Springfield Township area. And this is Chief Jack Simone. He's the chief of police here in Springfield Township. I understand you're trying to put on a levy here in Springfield Township, and I was hoping we could find out a little bit about it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking time that I could share this with you. Our police department is asking voters to approve a 1.5 mil levy in November. While we've remained fiscally responsible, we've been operating within our budget. Rising costs, particularly in salaries, equipment, and fuel, have created some financial pressures that we are now reaching out to the voters for additional funding in this levy. What the levy provides, we want to offer competitive wages to our officers. We want to maintain a safe and reliable fleet of vehicles, and we want to ensure that our officers are properly trained and equipped to protect the Springfield residents.
So sometimes, when people are voting, it feels like they always see a levy. But when was the last time the police department specifically did?
And I understand the community's pain. I'm a resident out here too, so I obviously pay the levies and see the levies, and they show up every year, whether it's the police department, the fire department, the school, or our road department. Being in a township, that's how we're funded, right? Since we don't collect income tax, we only collect property tax, we operate on levies. Most all our budget is funded through levies for all of our agencies. In 2022, we reached out to the voters and they passed a levy. Which we did is we combined several levies into one continuous levy. One of the reasons that we did that, Damiano, is for that reason, that we didn't have all these levies and we weren't showing up every year with a new levy. So we combined three levies into one. Or actually, we combined four levies into one levy. And 2024, last year, we reached out to the voters to pass, and what that was a replacement levy of a levy that was initiated in 2019. So that levy was to expire in 2025. If we don't replace that levy, that funding isn't available for our officers or for our police department. So when those levies show up every 5 years, we have to replace them or we lose that funding. Like I said earlier, unlike most communities, Springfield Township does not collect income tax.
Yeah.
We operate our police department on levies, and we reach out to the township, our residents, every few years to pass those levies.
So we discussed a little bit about the previous levies, but this new levy, what's it for?
Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, low staffing ratio. Springfield Township has one of the lowest officer to resident ratios compared to surrounding communities. What I mean by that is we run relatively 3 officers a shift, sometimes 4 officers a shift. Those officers are responding from incidents on Arlington Road all the way to the Ellet area. So we want to continue to maintain those staffing levels. The other reason is we want to provide officers with a competitive pay. Right now, recruitment is down for police officers across the country. Springfield is included. So we want to be able to provide officers a pay rate that's competitive with other communities to, number one, retain the officers that we have, and it gives us a recruiting tool for new officers.
It's got to be tough today to recruit new people.
It is very difficult because there's a small group of people that are applying for these positions compared to 10 years ago. So we're competing with a lot of other communities that can provide more benefits and a higher pay than we can here in Springfield. The other reason is there's rising costs with inflation, right? Salaries increase. We just talked about that. There's an increased cost in fuel every year. There's an increased cost in equipment every year. We also want to prepare for the future. We want to create a good core group of police officers here that are well trained, that are prepared to take on this department in the future.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, when you're talking about inflation, I think every person at home is, thinking about when they have to replace a tire or they have to, get an oil change, it's not the same price as it was, 10 years ago. I mean, I think my own tires have doubled in price. So, when you have police cruisers that all need tires, it's tough to maintain that same level of service and the same equipment for the same amount of money that you've been bringing in.
And Damiano, you bring up a great point, right? Number one, it is more expensive for the vehicle maintenance. But these officers have to go home too, right? And they got to replace tires on their personal vehicles. They got to put gas in their personal vehicles. They got to pay for food for their families. So we got to provide them a competitive pay so we can keep these quality officers here.
Absolutely. So I think the thing that people at home are going to want to know is, how much is this going to cost them?
And I understand that. I'm a homeowner here in Springfield Township, so that's going to be a big concern for me as well when we reach out to the voters for additional funding. This additional funding is a 1.5 mils levy. It's going to cost the owner of a $100,000 home approximately $54 a year, or $1 a week, right? The levy is expected to generate approximately $617,000 annually, which is really going to help us continue to maintain the level of services that we're maintaining now for our township.
When someone is deciding where to live, one of the things that they're looking at is the services from the community that they're going to move to. If they're picking, Akron or Springfield or Mogador, they're thinking about their police department, fire department, schools. So when you're talking about $1 a week, I don't think that compares to the amount of appreciation that a home would appreciate with, based on having great police services.
And we do pride ourselves here in Springfield Township with our safety forces and our service department. Right? We really work hard to serve our community. Basically, when they call, we come running. Right? We're on social media. We're always reaching out to our community for feedback. So we're working hard to provide them a high level of service, and to do that and keep competitive wages, keep equipment on the road, we have to ask for additional funding from time to time.
Makes a lot of sense. So, Chief, just to recap,
Yes.
you are asking for how much money?
We're asking the voters to pass a 1.5 mil levy, which would be an additional $54 a year for a $100,000 home, or approximately an additional $1 a week.
And what are they going to get for that money?
That's going to help us continue to provide the services that we are currently providing. We'll continue to provide a well-staffed, well-equipped, and well-trained police department.
Sounds good. I think everybody wants and deserves a high-quality, well-funded, well-staffed police department, to respond to their emergencies.
I agree with you. We want to do our part to continue that.
Listen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to help explain kind of what's going on with this levy. I think, this kind of format helps people understand better than something like a flyer or, a blog.
And I agree with you. And I think folks should realize that by passing this levy, they're investing in the safety, stability, and the future of our community.
Absolutely. Listen, Chief, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you, Damiano.
Thanks.